Poverty and depression are interchangeable, where when it is your day off, it is not you that is killing time, it is time that is killing you. Because what you're left with is drywall, a door, a popcorn ceiling, and the carpet underneath your feet. That which you do not prize because you're bored out of your mind, but it is all that you're left with. You see, we live in a world where your level of freedom of movement to exercise your will towards a joyous experience is coextensive with your purchasing power. When you do not have money, it is impossible for you to have an experience. The only thing you're left with is the war against boredom, which leaves you with nothing but your phone, Netflix, microwavable food, etc. If you ask me, that is no life that is worth living. Life is about doing the things that you want to do. But when you are poor, because you cannot do the things that you want to do, because you don't have the financial wherewithal, we can venture to say that you do not have free will. Because you do not will to be stuck at the house. But that's what you are. You might will to go to an amusement park, get drunk and ride a roller coaster, but you don't have the gas money. They're going to charge you an arm and a leg for parking fees and a wristband for unlimited rides, and all the money you're going to spend while you're there. It's going to end up being hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you don't have. So you can't occupy your time doing the things that you love to do. You're forced to spend your time bored and depressed in a state of impoverishment that leaves you isolated and alienated from the world. So I say that if you do not have the purchasing power to have an experience that you wish to have on a constant basis, then you don't have free will, because you are left as a being of desire with nothing but desires unfulfilled. And that kind of quality of life, in my opinion, is not worth living. But yet, we continue. We continue to tumultuously labor long and hard every day just to be left with, at best, a house. A house of boredom. You see, when you are left with all that time on your hands, it is not you that is killing time, it is time that is killing you. We live in a world where all of the things that we could experience that would make our lives more tolerable, maybe even enjoyable, maybe even bring a little bit of happiness, that is prohibited to you. You could say on an existential level. There is no being that is more discriminated against and more treated like a second-class citizen than he who does not have enough money to do things to occupy his time whereby he would enjoy himself. And this isn't an issue of a minority group. This type of, we might say, discrimination of being prohibited towards experience itself is an issue that actually affects the majority of the human population. Regardless of your gender, regardless of your ethnicity, if you are poor, you are treated in this world as something so disgusting that the world is quite literally denied to you. All of the restaurants, all of the amusement parks, all of the international sightseeings, like going to visit the Seven Wonders and immerse yourself within the culinary experiences of various cultures. You can't do it. You are limited to the territory of your stomping ground, which is a radius of several miles. And you can't venture past that because it's too much gas money. And even if you had the gas money to venture further, if you spend too much money going to that massage parlor, going to that restaurant, going to that bar, you're going to end up spending hundreds of dollars, and then you're going to realize, wait a minute, I'm not going to be able to pay my electricity bill if I do that more than just one time a month, quite literally. You see, the world is only as good as the ability to have an experience. But experientials that are memorable and joyful cost money. So when people say, money can't buy you happiness, that might be true, but money can buy you an experience. And on an existential level, when experience itself is denied to you, then I say happiness is impossible. They say the best things in life are free. Oh, really? That is an untrue statement. It is nothing more than a coping mechanism where we sing our psychological song, which is everything is the way that it should be, and it could not be otherwise, and I am content with that, even though you know that it's a lie. It is a coping mechanism because when you realize that you are basically enslaving yourself just to get a studio apartment as your reward, where on your day off you're left isolated and alienated from the outside world because you can't afford to do the things that you want to do. If you accept that fact, that you are a slave just to get cabin fever when you're not working as a result, that leaves you with that realism and that truism, and accepting that and recognizing that, it leaves you resentful. It leaves you in a state of existential dread and even world weariness, world hatred. So you lie to yourself and you say, well, the best things in life are free. Okay. we as human beings, we require love from usually the opposite sex. But how can we experience that kind of togetherness and that kind of romantic havingness when you don't even have enough money, hardly, to take her out on a date? When you don't even have enough money to buy a wedding ring. You know what I mean? The best things in life are not free. That which is free leaves you with nothing more than an open world filled with nothing but transactional enclosures whereby you are not able to engage in the commerce therewith. And you are homeless and without financial assistance from either a governmental source or resorting to begging, you literally will starve to death. Okay? That's the sad truth of the matter. Money cannot buy you happiness, that's true, but money can buy you experience. And how can we say that happiness is possible when you are not able to have an experience, right? It's ridiculous. The best things in life are free? No. What do you mean? The roof over your head? That costs $2,500 a month. That's not even free. And those things in which, well, the love I have for my spouse, the love I have for my cat, the love I have for my children, those things are free. No, they're not. If you didn't have money, your wife would divorce you. She would wind up picking up a job and getting full custody of the kids. You would never be able to see them and you would be fucking homeless. What do you mean the best things in life are free? Everything that you have that you're able to enjoy, even the little bit that it is because you have the spending power to have those things. Okay? The way I see it, quality of life is unfortunately the extent of your spending power. You are not able to exercise your will towards an experience that is worthwhile without it. And you are left in a world where you as a desirous being are unable to have your desires to be fulfilled. Because without money, like I said, the world is nothing more than enclosures of commerce that is transactional. And without money, it is prohibited to you. Okay? What sucks about this world is there are a lot of things that you could be doing whereby you could potentially enjoy yourself. It usually amounts to some kind of a hedonistic expenditure, like going to a restaurant, maybe going to a bar, going to an amusement park, going on vacation to South Africa and venturing into the savannah on a guided tour and looking at the wildlife of lions and cheetahs and hyenas and all that cool stuff. We live in a world where there are lots of things that we could explore, but nobody is able to explore the very world in which they live because only the rich people are able to travel and go on vacation like that. It sucks. This world in which we live is only so good insofar as we are able to experience the world to its fullest and explore all of the picturesque terrains that it has to offer. But without money, and a lot of fucking money, that's not possible. That's why the only people I know who are able to travel are people who are upper middle class. It's stupid. We live in a world where when you are financially worthless, you are basically worthless as a human being. Because what good are you as a human being when you cannot exercise your will to have the freedom of movement, to be able to do the things that you want to do? That, to me, is a life that is not worth living. Life is worth living insofar as all of the things that are agreeable for the life in question to experience are granted to him. But when nothing is accessible to you except through your long labors to have drywall, a popcorn ceiling, carpet underneath your feet, and a door, that's disgusting. That's an indication that Earth is hell. Because the best of what this world has to offer is inaccessible to you.